You can leave all that.
What is going on, everybody? We are back at it again with episode 112 of Stats Over Politics. Is everyone else hearing that echo or is it just me?
No, I hear it too. Sel, mute your mic. There we go.
You gotta talk.
Well, yeah, but like when I don't know. Good.
Is it the Bluetooth?
Hello?
Okay, I don't hear it no more. Do you guys hear it? Oh yeah, no, I still hear it. You got a different set of headphones, maybe?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, I only got these bad boys right here.
You might have to go without them.
All right, hold on.
If you guys hear the baby sounds, for audio only listeners, Mako is joining us here on episode number 112. And we are coming off of a fresh Niner win. Ain't that right, son? Feeling good.
It's his first one, isn't it? First regular season W. First Niner W in general.
First Niner.
Man.
He was born.
So a lifetime of disappointment, Mako. Yeah. You could have been an Eagles fan. You could have been a Duke fan. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to this intro. This is episode 112 of Stats Over Politics. Sorry for the technical issues. Shaun will not be joining us today. He's not feeling well. So as you can tell, there will be technical glitches all over the place because the man, the myth, the legend is not here. But we are joined by Kaz and Toddy. Toddy mentioned the Niners game. We all know that he is a Niners fan. So how are you doing today, Toddy? Fresh off the Niners victory, as you were mentioning.
Yeah, man, all I got to say is NFC runs through the Niners. Everybody got to come see us. We're feeling great. And we still resty too. That was rest. We knocking the rest off. Okay, we just getting started. So
now that our guest is back, Todd, you want to go ahead and do the people a favor and introduce him for us?
Absolutely. We got the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that said that the Sacramento Fury can beat the Colorado Buffaloes.
They're horrible.
Mr. Marcellus Dos. For everybody out there, Sacramento Fury is a coveted semi-pro team out here in Sacramento, California. They're pretty good at what they do. They win a lot of championships for semi-pro, but they're not beating the Colorado Buffaloes.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
I mean, you gotta believe. How we doing today, man? Thank you so much for joining the show, Marcellus.
We just got to watch what it looks like to be a dominant team and be unhealthy and not get to you seen the product. Like, we didn't even have Christian McCaffrey.
Come on, man.
No turnovers by our quarterback. I think we just executed on all levels of the game. Our third string running back pretty much carried us today by himself. So
147 and a tud.
Yeah. 28 carries is a lot.
Boy.
Come on, man.
So going on to a non-Niner fan, Kaz, we had a good weekend as well. So how you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. I mean, okay, I'm lying. I'm not because I told y'all before we got on the live, bro, how much money I lost betting on all of these apparently trash ass wide receivers. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, CD Lamb, Garrett Wilson. The list goes on. Okay, I'm not having a good time. You guys can't find the end zone. You also can't hit your low end of your yardage. I'm talking alternate yards. I mean, we're talking these are top 10 wide receivers and can't get 50 yards in a damn game besides CD Lamb.
Hey,
So, that ain't what it is. That ain't what it is. So
preseason.
nah, man, that ain't no excuse for that shit. Jamar Chase, you another one too, bro.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So the Eagles got the dub at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I did make some bread off my birds. They didn't let me down. But everywhere else, though, yeah, just a really, really weird week for fantasy and a very weird week for prop betting. That's all I'm gonna say. So
yeah, I'm doing great. Can't complain. I finally got my malfunctioning desktop to work. As Toddy knows, I was very, very upset that I couldn't join you guys past couple of weeks. So I was having technical difficulties with the brand new man cave I'm trying to set up here. But, we're moving and grooving. Before we move on, while we're talking about fantasy, Kaz, I have to let you know the man directly under you is on a high right now. fantasy is the best thing ever. He's feeling good right now. He had projected to do nothing. He made a trade, and he played 3 kickers, but he got it done.
Wow.
Damn.
2 receivers that had 1 point. And he just had Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs, Saquon, and Lamar. Carried him to a W. Now he think it's going to happen every week. But, he's Baltimore University, if you guys don't know.
2020 All-Stars, baby.
So this is how we're going to run this episode, fellas. We are going to we're going to go over into depth 3 games, and we are going to start with the Chiefs beating the Baltimore Ravens. So, Cass, I'm going to swing it to you first. What were your thoughts on the Chiefs beating the Ravens?
Expected. I mean, I did take the Ravens to lose to the Chiefs when it came to the predictions. But what I did see though was some of the best Lamar Jackson type football that I've ever seen him play in his whole career. To go into Arrowhead, to go against a Chiefs team that you have beat only one time since you guys have gone head to head. I think they had like 4 or 5 meetings, but regardless, they've only beat the Chiefs one time, if I'm not mistaken. Season opener, Mahomes does not lose season openers. He's only lost 1, I believe, since he's been in the league. And Lamar put the team on his back. I said it to a couple of my homeboys after that game. I go, you understand that any other quarterback in the league, even if you took Mahomes and cloned him and put him on the Ravens, they're not losing that game by anything less or more than 14 points. I mean, it should have been Chiefs all day, and the Ravens should have lost by a lot. They couldn't get any of the receivers going besides Zay Flowers, which isn't saying much. No Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, a lot of yak. Derrick Henry, he showed signs of being good, but they didn't use him as much as they could have. It was a Lamar Jackson show, and it took literally an inch for them to lose that game. If they convert that last second play to win that game, Lamar Jackson looks like the MVP yet again starting week 1. So one of the best games I've ever seen Lamar Jackson play. I thought he was awesome. Just he needs more help, man. I've been arguing this take with a lot of guys about Rashad Bateman. I'm not high on him. I think that he's a bust. I don't think he's a true number 1. I think Zay Flowers is that guy, but Lamar Jackson needs a stud. He needs a solidified stud. He needs an A.J. Brown. He needs a Mon-Ra St. Brown. He needs a C.D. Lamb. And I get that these are big name guys, but he's gone his whole career without having one. What's going to happen if he gets one? So awesome game from Lamar, but as expected, the Chiefs took it at home, and I called that. So I almost called the score like to a T. So I was pretty spot on my take.
What was your score?
I had Baltimore KC 21-27. Yep.
Man. You put money on that, or was that just your friendly projection?
That was just a friendly projection. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it was within the 20s, and yeah, it came down.
You only get closer, only so much closer.
Yeah, so I'm like, it's right there. I was in the range, so I ain't complaining about it.
So Marcellus, what were your thoughts on the Chiefs yet again beating the Ravens 27-20 in the week 1 opener?
All right. First of all, it's just sickening. I'm tired of Kansas City. So when you got Mahomes he's catching his own pass, that's sickening to watch. And then just like overall, I don't know what else the Ravens really need. Like they got Derek, but I felt like they got so one-dimensional when Derek was in the backfield because of how that formation was set up, was double tight, and it just looked horrible. Like they were stuffing the box. That's why Lamar had to do so much of what he had to do because, honestly, he just didn't have any – there's no help. Bateman had 1 catch, and, I think in the 4th quarter, Mark Andrews had he was just missing in action. And then, just going to Likely the whole game, I guess, is the only thing that he had working for him, but I just still can't figure out what Baltimore still needs. It's just, to me, it's just they're really one-dimensional, and then adding Derek and just them in the backfield together and how they're setting him up in the formation is just one-dimensional. It looks like the telltale signs is Derek's getting it, and if we fill up the box, Spagnuolo is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. So I feel like his scheme, changing it going into the second half, everything was changed just so it was tailored to stop Derrick Henry, and you only have to worry about the one threat, which was Lamar. And for him to keep that up the whole year, I don't see that happening.
Todd, are you ready to join us, or you want me to take over?
Oh no, yeah. I kind of agree with everybody. I thought Derrick Henry got some good looks early in the game, but I just think that them stacking the box, and it's kind of obvious whenever the Ravens kind of have him in the game, they're running the ball. So it's like I feel like you got to mix up the formations a little bit. The Ravens played, I'd say, pretty solid football. They had some really bad miscues on defense that just led to wide open touchdowns. Xavier Worthy weren't running down the sideline wide open. He's the fastest guy in combine history. I don't know NFL history, but I just think you can't have those mistakes against Andy Reid and Mahomes because they're going to bite you every single chance that they get. I did like what I saw from Xavier Worthy. I did call that he was going to score a touchdown earlier in the group chat. We didn't even see Kelsey like that. Like Rashee Rice went off. Is he a number one receiver now? Like Hollywood Brown didn't even play. Like this offense is scary now. So it's kind of like last year the offense was a little bit dink and dunk. We didn't really see anything over the top from them. But now we're like, okay, Rashee Rice year two. We're seeing, Isaiah Pacheco's back there. And this new guy, Xavier Worthy, who everybody wasn't really high on, which I never really understood. Because if you watch the tape of Texas, he's a guy for real. So I thought the Ravens at the end, they had a chance to win. Lamar made an insane throw to Bateman down the sideline. Isaiah Likely, I thought he played well. He's kind of coming into his own, being, an up-and-coming tight end in this league. And the Ravens got down in the goal line. They had chances, but, they weren't able to come up short. Chris Jones, a lot of people really didn't want to talk about, caused havoc, caused a lot for Lamar. For him to kind of be running around a lot in the pocket. And he wrecks defensive or offensive lines. And I think the offensive line for the Ravens was a little bit, they kind of, patchworked, moved it together a lot because they have a couple injuries on the offensive line. So the Ravens came down literally to Isaiah Likely's toe being out of bounds, and who knows what would have happened after that. But definitely did have the Ravens winning this game. I was wrong by the skin of our teeth. But I thought it was a really good game, and Isaiah Likely at the end of the game was screaming at fans. We all heard what he said, but he did say in an interview, he was like, hey, man, if that's their best, we'll see him again. So I think he's confident that they're going to see him again and they're going to be able to get the better of him. But that was a really good game, opening week game.
You made a good point. You made a good point mentioning Chris Jones. That's why I said what I said about any other quarterback in the league played that same game, they lose by 14 plus easy because nobody's getting out of that pressure besides Lamar Jackson in the NFL. The Ravens offensive line, like getting dismantled by Chris Jones single-handedly. Lamar's running around like a chicken with his head cut off and converting. Nobody else can do that besides him. No, not even Mahomes.
Ran for 100 yards. He rushed for 100 something, like
120.
Yeah,
like 120.
And that was with the line. That was with the line getting destroyed. Like
his leg, he kept them in the game. So I definitely agree with you saying, like, if it were anybody else, those are sacks. Like it's crazy to say because Lamar he's so gifted that he's able to just run whenever. And I don't think there's anybody in the league like him. So it's like you got to account for everything. I get you'll have a whole bunch of coverage downfield, but like you got to account for Lamar Jackson. And even if there is a spot, he can get you over the top. So, it's a tough cover. So that's why, going back to what Marcellus was saying, Spagnuolo is one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. So you kind of have to account for everything that's going to happen. So there's no real way to stop Lamar. It's like, all right, either he's going to beat us with his arm or he's going to beat us with his legs. And so you just have to live with certain things that he's going to do every single night.
Definitely. And before we move on from this, I wanted to get you guys' opinion. So kind of asking as a panel, what did everyone think about the illegal formations that we kept seeing? We saw it over and over and over. And I feel like that really set the tone for this season because you see 2 days later in the Eagles game, same thing, illegal formation. They are calling this nonstop and they're not giving warnings. If you do that thing 3-4 times in a row, you're going to get calls for it. So do you guys have any thoughts on that now that that's been something that they're heavily focusing on going into the year?
I just pray that they're consistent with it and not just the first 3 weeks. Like, if they're going to be consistent, then it needs to get called every time. Like, they can't call it the first week, and then the second week it's hit or miss, third week hit or miss, and then they just stop calling it. They got to be consistent with that if they're going to keep calling it.
Yeah, I agree. Like the league's, I mean, it's changing before our eyes. The NFL 10 years ago is nothing like the NFL today. So you're going to have, weird refereeing. You're going to have weird rules. I mean, there's like shit. The kickoff, the new kickoff rules. I mean, we're going to be making constant adjustments for the next probably 2 or 3 years when it comes to, health with players and, how fans feel about certain things and how, the Players Association feels about certain things. Like we're living in an era of just a lot of rule changes, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. I just think that as long as they're consistent, it'll be okay. I mean, it is what it is. I just think that at the beginning of every year moving forward for the next few years, you're going to have just some very questionable, calls by the referees. It is what it is. I mean, you guys remember just a few years back with the replacement refs, that was a fucking train wreck. You know what I'm saying? No, it was a train wreck. But then as the season progressed, they kind of fixed it. And then, more rule changes. So it's like the referees, they're kind of like the players too. They're still making adjustments. You understand? Like they're not waking up like, oh, we got these new rules. I've been refereeing for 15, 20 years. Let me just go ahead and just switch this off and switch this on. They're going to make the same mistakes too. So, I mean, as long as the league keeps changing, I'm going to expect them to have, to be a little hands-on when it comes to all these calls and whatnot. They're going to be, because at the end of the day, you'd rather be safe than sorry. If it looks illegal, throw the flag. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to become the referee group that, something's going on, all of a sudden there's no flags being thrown. It's harder to kind of adjust to that than the opposite. So if they're a little uptight, that just forces the players to play more honest football, which is there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But yeah, as long as they stay consistent, I'm cool with it. I mean, it is what it is. Abide by the rules. So make adjustments.
Yeah, man. But I'm still surprised they haven't started calling people for offsides, those left ends or those left tackles. AKA Lane Johnson. About the AK. I mean, everyone does it. You saw, I think it's his name, Juwan Taylor for the Chiefs. They all jump offsides, bro. It's like they consistently don't call it, and it's insane.
I noticed it a lot during this weekend too. There was a lot of illegal formation calls. There was also another penalty or rule change. When guys go like in motion and then when they go in motion and they kind of start to cut up.
Yeah.
The field. That was another rule that got changed too. So I saw a couple of calls with that.
You gotta be set.
It's like a whole bunch of different rule changes now. So like Marcellus was saying, you got to be consistent with it. You can't really kind of just be it can't be one-sided. So and you even saw John Harbaugh. He mouthed, "You got to call it both ways." So he said it's not being called both ways. So you gotta see the consistency from refs throughout the week. But a lot of illegal formation calls this whole entire weekend. It was great.
Yeah. And another thing that I've noticed that, of course, hasn't been a thing in the past seasons is the guys wearing the skull caps with a cap over the skull cap to match the helmet. I saw a lot of those this weekend. So the NFL is forever changing, man. The NFL is forever changing. So that closes up the Thursday night football game. So we are going to go in chronological order. So you know what game is next. The Philadelphia Eagles travel to Brazil to take on the Green Bay Packers and win 34-29. I'm gonna send it to us last. Let's let the build-up happen. So Marcellus, I'm gonna swing it to you first. What were your thoughts on the Eagles versus Packers game? If you say the first words you said to us on the podcast, you repeat those words, I'm gonna be hurt.
All right. Saquon looks like he belongs in Philadelphia. I'll say that 1,000%.
I'm a fantasy.
I'm a fan. He looks like he belongs in Philly.
He a fan.
But I just feel like the only takeaway that I do have from that game, like for Philly, was the fact that I felt like they were struggling down the field on defense. Like it was really inconsistent. They would have their moments where you're like, okay, they're able to cover, they can withstand it, they're getting pressure. And then I feel like there are times where you're getting people running free across the middle. Like that was just – there was a couple of drives that Jordan Love ended up scoring on or could have scored on. And I'm just like, there are people running free. Like that's probably the only takeaway that I really do have besides the interceptions from Jalen Hurts, of course. But
I'll get in there. All right, Toddy. I'm gonna swing it to you next, man. We got a certain amount of time, Toddy. So don't go in on us too hard. What were your thoughts on opening night? Eagles beating the Packers 34-29 in Brazil.
So yeah, I gambled on this game for sure. Called both Eagle fans above to get their thoughts. One kind of said some bullshit, and the other said, "Hey, our DBs, our DBs."
Yo, hold on. Who said the bullshit?
The one that's talking right now.
Oh, whoa, what?
So the other one said,
I gotta hear what Cass said.
The other one said, "Hey, it's gonna be we're either gonna win by 20 or it's gonna be a shootout. I'm worried about our DBs."
That's what I said.
And I was like, okay.
My mind gotta be bullshit.
Because I take what Kev says with a grain of salt.
So you needed him to double down on it to make sure that my bullshit wasn't complete bullshit. I got you.
So
That's crazy.
I was like, okay. And then when the game came and I'm just seeing Jaden Reed running across the middle, Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson running across the middle, just wide open. Jordan Love just hitting guys. The Eagles are fumbling snaps and shit. Jalen Hurts is throwing picks on his side of the field. And I'm like, we're cooked already. And then I actually tweeted this early in the game. I said, hey, the Eagles defense is actually playing good. Because they got 2 stops. They only gave up 6 points on those 2 turnovers. And it wasn't like that the rest of the game. A.J. Brown played his ass off. I thought Devontae Smith could have got the ball a lot more. Obviously, Saquon Barkley. Your guys' offense is really, really good. I just think when Jalen Hurts drops back to pass, he shouldn't stare down a receiver. That's A.J. Brown. So, I mean, when that happens, he throws like crazy, like 50 balls, and it's like you're throwing it right to the DB. What are you doing? But, I mean, other than that, I feel like your guys' defense needs to be better. I can't blame it all on the field because your guys are slipping, their guys are slipping. It's like, okay, the field's fucked up. I get it. But the defense is a problem. They targeted Quinyon Mitchell a lot, and he got a couple of PI calls. I get it, he's a rookie. But you guys had some injuries in the defensive backfield. So offense is good. Yes, we understand that. The defense has to play better.
Those were panic holds.
So, Eagles go down to Brazil, get a W, handle business.
Oh, the Eagles won, by the way.
Just to let everybody know, I told Toddy the exact same thing. I said, look, Rodgers is out. We're going to have to play the young guy. The young guy going to have to go over there and guard Jalen Reed and Christian Watson. I said, Toddy, it could be a shootout. The over looks good.
Shit, it might be quick. Quinyon, the first round pick. We not worried. We ain't worried.
That wasn't me. Not when I heard Isaiah Rodgers, because he's supposed to play in the slot. So he's an outside corner that they transitioned into slot so he can play on this team. So
he might have took his spot.
Once he got to play slot, I'm worried.
He might have
What I tell you, Kaz, I said we look good. I don't want to see Rodgers on Monday. Look, man, you got to get back in the rotation. Road to glory, 3rd string challenge or something, because we got to keep it rolling. He went out there and did his thing. You know, yeah, people were challenging him, but let me give you some stats on Quinyon Mitchell. He gave up. Let me see. Hold on. He gave up 4 catches on 9 targets. So you're talking about 1 PI. They threw it his way 9 times and walked away to the huddle 5 times. Like, God damn it, Jordan, you see who's on me. Why do you keep throwing the ball this way? But this Toddy asked me all year, who's in the secondary, Kev? What are we doing? CJ Garner-Smith is all over the field. He's in the backfield. He's having pass breakups. And what is he doing after he's hitting somebody on the ass? Talking shit. Bringing that energy. Quinyon Mitchell gets a PBU. What is he doing? We got to pull him back. The only time it's doing too much is whenever it's Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is too big to be doing that to other people. He does it to them regularly, so after the whistle, he can't be doing that to people. That is the one thing I'd probably take away from this, but, that's a part of the Jalen Carter experience. Reed Blankenship. A lot of people did not give him the credit he deserves. If we're going to play the Packers, Reed Blankenship is getting a pick. If he's picking off Aaron, he's going to pick off the understudy. It only makes sense. He's telling him everything you knew. So he said, look, man, when you play Philly, just throw the ball to number 32. Just get it out the way early. We can keep moving on. But I'll let Kaz get into the players. I'm going to sit here and say, Vic Fangio, God bless you. You know, last year was hard. We went 6 weeks, fired our DC, kicked the other one out to the booth, brought down the defensive cornerback coach. It was a lot going on defense. You know, a lot of bullshit, a lot of. That was the biggest thing I was concerned because Kellen Moore has the name. He has the proof in the pudding. Vic Fangio was with Miami, and their defense was kind of washy-washy. So coming off of that, the better coordinator was Kellen Moore. But they scored 10 points in the second half. Like, I know you guys want to say the jet sweep was cool and the wide open touchdown was cool. Before those 2 touchdowns, they drove down the field one time. We gave up an interception on the 10-yard line. Our 10-yard line. They got to go 10 yards to score. Nothing. Fumble on our 5-yard line. They got to go 5 yards. Bring that punt out. Bring that kicker out. You're not getting in the end zone. Bring the kicker out. So, you know, yeah, there's a lot that we could fix, but this defense looked damn good, and it's only the beginning, and it's going to continue. I know you're pointing at me, but I'm on a roll, so you got to let me go. Kellen Moore, God bless you. Jalen Hurts, or the Philadelphia Eagles offense, 73 plays, 48 with motion. 66%. Last season in the whole was 17 games, 18 games, 23%. 29th in the league. Only ass and ass under us. So now we moving and grooving. Jalen Hurts without motion, 5 of 13, 66 yards, 2 picks. With motion, 15 of 21, 215, 2 touchdowns. It's all in the pudding, man. We have these weapons. We got to get them all utilized. And instead of me sitting here rambling on about Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts, I'm going to send it to the man Kaz because I trust that he's going to do it, and he's going to fucking kill it. So, Kaz, what were your thoughts on the Eagles beating the Packers 34-29 in Brazil?
Hey, Kaz, before you go, I just wanted to let you know the Eagles gave up a total of 414 yards on defense.
Jordan Love threw for 260.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So, what was that in the red zone? I mean, we gave him at the 10-yard line and at the 5.
Oh, it's Kaz's turn. Let Kaz go.
I spoke my piece.
That was a question for me, though.
No. You guys
it wasn't a question, it was a statement.
You guys ever heard of the compliment sandwich, where when you're talking to someone, you say a good thing about them and then like an area of opportunity, and then you end it with a good thing? We're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna talk about the Eagles for a second. So let's start off with the good thing. The first thing that stood out to me was no preseason snaps for our first team guys. We came out and we played sloppy, and we still put up 34. Playing like absolute dog shit for the most part. The picks were big time. We don't turn it over in the red zone on our, obviously on our end of the field. That turns it into at least 3 points. That's just more. That's just boosting the score even more right there. All right. AJ Brown, he's AJ Brown, still unstoppable, outrunning Jair Alexander. For guys who thought AJ Brown's just this big bully guy with no speed, he proved it. He still got some speed too. Devonta Smith is unguardable. Devonta Smith is legitimately unguardable. If Devonta Smith was on a team like the Tennessee Titans or on a team like, we'll say, like the Jacksonville Jaguars, watch out. That man's going to give you 10 catches a game in a smooth 90 to 120 without a doubt. But he's on the Eagles. The ball's got to go around to a lot of people. It is what it is. Devonta Smith is just going to be that sure guy. Put all your money on Devonta Smith to get you that yardage every week, all 17 games. It's guaranteed to happen.
Did you bet on him?
What's that?
Did you bet on him?
Yeah, bro. I'm hot take. We're not gonna go down this rabbit hole. My hot take is I think that Smitty outperforms AJ Brown. That's legitimate yardage wise. I do. That's
not a hot take at all.
It's a hot take only because I know who's going to get most of the targets, but I trust the guy who's unguardable that gets open on every play more than a guy who has to work hard for his yardage like AJ Brown. So that's a hot take. We'll see what it is. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the season, wouldn't be surprised if he gets the same target share. Devonta Smith is going to outshine AJ Brown, without a doubt in my mind. If they get the same or similar target share, he's going to outshine them. But moving on. Offense looks great. Saquon Barkley, I don't need to say anything about it. You guys saw it. You seen it. New York, you fucked up. You fucked up, and it is what it is. You understand who Saquon Barkley, who the fuck he was in college. He thought a couple injuries early in his career in the NFL was going to stop him from being that same guy. Nope, he's the same Saquon from Penn State. The guy they were comparing to Barry Sanders, talking about his vision, talking about his power, talking about his burst speed. You saw it in Philadelphia in 1 week. The guy's catching off wheel routes into the end zone. He can catch. He can run between the tackles. He can run outside of the tackles. He can do it all. Saquon Barkley is in peak form, and it is what it is. Now, that's all the good stuff. Areas of opportunity. I'm not sure if you guys saw my short or my TikTok about when I talked about Jalen Hurts. I'm starting to believe that Jalen Hurts is becoming more of a gunslinger type quarterback, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because that just means that he trusts his defense to get stops if he does make turnovers, to get the ball back and do what he's done time and time again, and that is he is the master of the get back. Jalen Hurts, whenever he fucks up, he immediately fixes it, and this is week in, week out. I've never seen a game where Jalen Hurts just stunk it up, and just you don't see him get his get back. Nope, he throws a pick, has a fumble, immediate turnaround, and he did it week 1. But at the same time, if you want to go far in this league and win the big game, you got to mitigate that, man. There's nothing wrong with punting the ball. I just think that Jalen Hurts, being as stoic as he is, trusting his defense, trusting himself. He obviously believes in himself. He throws a pick. He doesn't wear his heart on the sleeve, man. He just brushes it off. Next play, let's go. I'll get it back. Well, you know what I'm saying? He gets his get back every time, and I like him for that. But at the end of the day, we got to fix that. I'm not going to say much about our defense. There is obviously areas of opportunity when it comes to our defense, but I think they play very well. Reed Blankenship with the big interception. Quinton Mitchell gets thrown to the wolves. Said, well, guess what? Have at it with these young corners. This is your first NFL game. You played nickel all preseason, and now we've got to right now randomly within 3 days notice throw you out there in cornerback. You ain't been playing cornerback reps all preseason long, right? So then that happens, and he plays phenomenal. Zach Bond, 15 tackles, 2 sacks. Who the fuck is that guy? That's a problem. Devin White was out, and that was supposed to be an area of opportunity, right? Kobe Dean's in. We're going to be struggling at linebacker. Not an issue at all. So our defense, there's a lot of areas of opportunity, but for the most part, they played very well against a very fast and chippy Green Bay Packers offense. Back to the compliment side of things. All in all, very well coached game on both ends. Kellen Moore scheming guys open, Vic Fangio getting guys like Jalen Carter, and honestly, Nolan Smith was a sleeper too. If you guys watched the film, Nolan Smith is in on almost every tackle. He was right there, and that's a huge area of improvement for him because what's that?
What did Nick Sirianni do? Did he do anything? He was just there.
No, he was just there. I said coordinators. Not Nick. Coordinators. Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio.
He was there. He made the trip.
You know, he was there. He did what he needed to do to get the dub. But all in all, another one is Nolan Smith. Seeing him actually get reps because he was not in a lot of reps last season and getting this close to multiple sacks. I'm like, his time's coming. So we get Devin White back. We get Isaiah Rodgers back. I think this Eagles defense, and I said it also in that TikTok, I think this defense might secretly be good. We don't know yet, but there's been signs of it. Because if Quinton Mitchell is the guy and we get Isaiah Rodgers back, that just adds more depth all through the secondary. They didn't even go to Darius Slay's side. They knew better. I think he had two throws to his side of the field, and that was it the whole game, the entire game. So something's got to show there. I think that overall, it was a good game by the Eagles, given that, again, our first team guys had no reps all preseason long. I mean, it is what it is. It's expected. We did it last year, too. We came out very sluggish against the fucking Patriots. Ended up winning that game. Next week, we got to clean it up at the link. So I'm satisfied. No worries right now. Not at all.
Moral of the story is throw it at Avonte Maddox, and you're guaranteed he's gonna give it up.
we gotta see us know more with Avonte Maddox. But before we end this off, this is strictly clip purposes. If your name is not Jair Alexander, just keep scrolling. So, week 1 last season, got his ass lit up. Went to the press conference. Why don't you follow Justin? That wasn't the defensive scheme, but next game I'm going to get him. Justin comes in wherever their stadium is called, 1 catch on 5 targets, 15 yards. This man proceeds to go to the booth and say the pack is back. I'm a gritty on him. I'm going to do this, blah, 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 blah. So I was letting everybody know A.J. Brown ain't Justin Jefferson. Ain't no one catch with 15 yards. When he was guarding him, 6 targets, 4 catches, $108, 1 touchdown, 4 first downs, 59 yards after the catch, and 27 yards per catch. So the pack is indeed not back. Todd, you were muted. I couldn't hear you.
I said, are you trying to say that A.J. Brown's better than Justin Jefferson?
Hey, whoa, see, you said that, not me. I'm just saying he's not Justin Jefferson. That's all I'm saying. Ain't no 1 for 5 and 15. That's all I'm saying. You said it, not me. I did the whole reel. You're not here to say that one time, but I just needed one of y'all to say it. So it all makes sense in my head, but I guess I'll have to wait for Wes to tell us.
Yeah. All right.
So moving on to the next game, the Sunday night football game, after the NFL made us sit through all the 1 o'clock games. Boy, 4 o'clock for you guys, but all the games were just garbage. And then they knew we wanted more football, so they gave it to us. Sunday night football, the playoff rematch, the Lions beat the Rams 26-20. Marcellus, what were your thoughts on the Lions returning, or the Rams returning to Detroit and leaving with yet another L?
It's like I told Toddy, Detroit belongs to Jared Goff. Hey, he walked out there at the coin toss in overtime. He looked Stafford in his eyes and said, "This is mine, and I'm out of here." And they took it and they ran away with it. And I told Toddy, I don't think they're going to be able to stop them on defense. And it got ugly in overtime really fast. I just, in my opinion, the Rams defense is horrible against the run. And just the fact that they could not stop Montgomery and Gibbs alone, that's what got them all the way into the red zone just to finish the game. Like, I think Detroit belongs to Jared Goff. I feel like he's done more in Detroit than Stafford's ever done. And I feel like the proof is right there. Like, as being in the NFC, being a Niner fan, I'm really am worried about Detroit because they keep showing more and more promise. Like, I feel like with them, there's more promise and more upside than most teams in the NFC. And they just keep showing it every week. Because at one point, I was like, I think the Rams might pull it off. Toddy bet on the Rams. He bet the house. And I told him it was a horrible idea. But, he ran with it. And it stabbed him in the back.
So I guess I'll take it from here. We have Rams money line. It was the last second call. We made the play in. And it didn't look good at first. Rams come out, kind of hit them in the face. The first couple of drives, it just looked like it was just a lopsided matchup. Matt Stafford, I thought the game is not close. The game doesn't go to overtime without Matt Stafford. I thought he made some insane throws. He threw the ball 59 times in this game, which was insane. McVay was scheming up plays out of his ass. Puka Nacua goes down with a knee injury, who is now on IR. Cooper Kupp seems to be back. He's making double tiptoe catches down the sideline. Stafford's throwing piss missiles all over the field. Kyron Williams, I thought they could have got him a little bit more involved in the offense, but I just think there came a point when I think it was Goff throws a pick, the Rams go down and they score and they go up. The Rams or the Lions get the ball back to try and go down and score. I think the Lions go 3 and out after that. And pretty much after that happened, when the Rams got the ball back and they had the lead, it was like, okay, the Rams can't give the ball back to the Lions. Because if they do, I have a feeling, just a strange feeling in my gut, the Lions are going to go down and they're going to put some points on the board and end up tying the game. Stafford made an insane no-look pass on like 3rd down to keep the drive going. Try to do the same thing again, but there was way too much pressure on Aiden Hutchinson. I'd say that throughout the entire game, that kind of made Stafford step up into the pocket and he didn't have his feet set, which kind of sailed the ball on Cooper Kupp. And that ended up giving the Lions the ball back. Lions go down and kick a field goal. Game goes into overtime. looked at Matt Stafford in the face. They said, "You're the visiting team. What do you want to call?" He calls heads like a dumbass, and you can hear the whole stadium say tails. The whole stadium said tails. What do you know? It's tails. You want to kick or you want to receive? We want to receive. We want to go that way. The Lions literally, I believe, ran the ball like
12 times, I think.
The whole, I don't even think they threw a pass. I could be wrong in overtime, but it felt like they just fed Montgomery all the way down the field, and the Rams couldn't do shit about it. Smash mouth football at its finest. So it kind of was just the Rams could not stop the Lions' run game.
What B Rabbit do in 8 Mile?
Everybody from 313.
Man, there's a few games this week, man, that I was like just questioning, what are you guys trying to win, or are you guys trying to just have a photo finish? You know what I mean? Like, it seemed like there was a lot of like scared. Y'all seen Kevin Hart when he does a scared walking?
Yeah,
scared walking. It's like you got to win a game tonight. What are you doing? I feel like the Rams had a lot of opportunities to get the right guys the ball, even though Puka Nacua was out.
Stafford threw a pick in the end zone. What the fuck are you doing? You're taking points off the board.
Like, it just really seemed like there was too much lackadaisical football from a lot of teams. Even tonight, like the Jets game, it's like, not that I thought the Jets were going to beat the Niners, no, but like I'm like, of course I'm betting, so of course I'm very biased. I'm betting. I'm like, okay, get Garrett Wilson the ball, Like you're down points. Get your best receiver the ball. Like, when you don't lose anything by forcing your best guy the ball because you're down by 14 points or whatever it was. But they didn't do it. Just played very, very chill. And it was the same thing with the Rams. It's like, yeah, Cooper Kupp, he was having a game, but at the same time, it's like some of their play calling, it's like, you're not winning this game. What are you doing? Like, you understand the way that clock management works, right? They get the ball. They're a run-heavy team. Why are you going to give them more opportunities to keep running the ball and running the clock down? Is this our first time watching an NFL game? You know how quickly a fourth quarter can go in the NFL when a team has a good run game? It goes by quick.
Yeah.
You saw it tonight with the Niners. I mean, you saw how quickly it went from fourth quarter, game over.
Yeah.
Look at time of possession. You don't think that the Lions have the same caliber of a run team where it's like Dave Montgomery the entire game since the first snap literally did. The football gods did it to us again. They did it to us again. Everybody drops in Jahmyr Gibbs, this and that. No, Dave Montgomery's the number one there, bro. He is.
Yeah.
I hate it or love it. He is. He just is. They're gonna save Jahmyr Gibbs just in case if Dave Montgomery gets hurt. But Dave Montgomery is going to get the main portion of the carries.
Yeah.
And they're gonna use Jahmyr Gibbs for that boomer bust type shit. So I think that Sean McVay, he did not call a good game being the head coach. I think that he allowed his team to kind of be on their heels a little bit too long, and it forced them to play hero ball in order to win. You never want to be in that position. You got a guy like Stafford who was a good quarterback. You got a guy like Cooper Kupp who clearly can still play football. You got Kyron Williams in the backfield. It's not like you don't have guys that can move the chains, but like you guys just play too lackadaisical, and that led you to your demise ultimately. The Lions were a very beatable team last night. They were. But the Lions, they figured it out. Hey, you know what? They can stop the run. Fuck the shit. Let's get up and let's just run the ball. Yeah. And that's what they did. That's what they did to close out. They got up and run the ball and ran the ball and ran the ball. So shout out to the Lions for literally winning that game forcefully the way that they did, because it was working and Sean McVay was making no adjustments. There were zero adjustments when it came to that defense and offense. They did the same thing over and over and over again. So it's like, I don't know what you expect Matthew Stafford to do when he's already down with his, we'll call him 1B wide receiver because Cooper Kupp's probably the 1A, whatever. It doesn't matter. One of his main wide receivers, he's down that. All right. And you guys are in a low scoring shootout for the most part against the Detroit Lions, which was a team that was in the fucking NFC Championship last year. You cannot play conservative against teams like that. It never works out in your favor. And you would think a veteran coach now, probably still the youngest coach in the NFL, I'm guessing, Sean McVay would have that figured out, and he didn't. And it led to them being put in a very weird predicament. And Dan Campbell's like, you know what, guys? Fuck this shit. Let's just run it down their throats. They can't stop us. Dub. easy dub for the Lions if you were to ask me. So, yeah. All in all, I thought there was opportunities for the Rams to put that game away, and they just never capitalized. And I think a lot of it's because of how conservative they were. So,
but to answer that, Kaz, the new Seahawks coach is now the youngest coach.
Is he now?
Couldn't tell you his name, but they showed him a lot, and he's not Pete Carroll. So
McDonald.
Yeah.
McDonald. Yeah. McDonald, I think he's 37 now, so he now is the youngest NFL coach.
Whoever he is, the shit. McVay down there still, though.
So now that we covered the 3 games that were primetime games, we are now going to do a week 1 quick recap. So we are going to go game by game. I'm going to give each person a game, and we're just going to try to go through this. If you have something to say to add on to what the previous person said about the game, just go ahead and make it quick. So we're going to start with you, Kaz. The Panthers lose to the Saints 47-10.
Hate that it happened, but expected. The Panthers not going to be good for another 2 years. I mean, Bryce Young is probably not the guy that we thought he was going to be. He probably needs to be on a certain team so he can thrive, but it's just they don't have it, man. They don't have enough. They don't have enough, and the Saints have, for the last few years, had a pretty solid defense, and they got guys that make plays on offense, and even though Derek Carr is not a great quarterback, he loves Rashid Shaheed, dog. He does. Like, he did it all last year. He opened up the season this year with Rashid Shaheed, so yeah, expected. I mean, I think I predicted that game to be kind of out of getting out of control, and it was way worse than what I predicted. So expected, but goddamn, Carolina just God Lord.
So Jaevon tied. I'm going to swing the next game to you. The Minnesota Vikings open up 1-0 after beating the New York Giants in their new throwback jerseys, 28-6. What were your thoughts?
Skull back, Wes. I'm turning it up for you. No, yeah, Jettas is going to be Jettas. Aaron Jones looked really good. Sam Darnold looked comfortable in an offense since never. So, I mean, Daniel Jones, the jig is up. We'll just say that. I mean, let's give these people their money back. It's all downhill from here. Malik Neighbors, the interview, and at the end of the game, it's
just doing my job.
This is what it's gonna be. So I mean, like, you gotta put your big boy pants on if you're a Giants fan, because it's gonna be a long road. It just seems like it was eons ago when they won a playoff game in Minnesota. That was 2 years ago. Now look at them. They're gonna be a bottom 5 team in the league. So it's gonna get rough. I think the Vikings could be sneaky, a feisty team. It can be feisty.
You got to make sure you put precise wording on that, because we'll come back.
They'll be very feisty.
I got one thing to say. Worst throwback uniform I have ever seen in NFL history.
They have come with some fire uniforms this year. Some fire uniforms. The Detroit Lions are nice. And then for you to just throw them bitches out there week 1 with the brown pants.
Power Rangers.
But all in all, I think Sam Darnold looks comfortable. KOC, I think, is one of the better offensive minds in the league. And we'll see what this team could be, because they got a lot of good weapons. Aaron Jones, you got Jordan Addison, and obviously you have Justin Jefferson, highest paid receiver in the league. So we'll see what he could work with.
Marcellus, I think the biggest upset of the season, week 1, the New England Patriots beat the Bengals 16-10.
I'm not surprised. The Bengals start off every season horrible. Like, that wasn't a shocker to me. Last year I seen it up close and personal. I've lost so much money on Cincinnati. They're like the Raiders to me. Like, it's just a waste of money. And I'm not even surprised that they lost that game, because New England finally got a different coach to play for. It's a different atmosphere. The Belichick era is gone. They got Mayo coaching. He was a former player. Like, I feel like they got new life there. Like, they're letting the players finally be themselves. They might be all right. And Jacoby Brissett knows how to manage a game well enough to not lose one. So I wasn't surprised. Cincinnati does that every year. They start off horrible, and then they get hot towards the end of the year. So just to keep it short and sweet, that was really it.
And for the next game, A shocker to most. Shocker to me. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Atlanta Falcons 18-10. All I heard all season was Arthur Smith ain't here no more. We gonna see Drake London. We gonna see Kyle Pitts. We gonna see Bijan Robinson. And I told him, I said, hey man, Kirk came to Philly a lot. Kirk's gonna beat Kirk Cousins. I know the chains look nice and it's fun and it's giddy. You like that? Was a long time ago. He's really only been relevant because of number 18. Number 18 is no longer there making catches over double coverage. You know, Kyle Pitts got to the end zone, and if the Steelers didn't blow coverage, they might have not scored a touchdown all game. For Kirk Cousins to go out there and throw 2 picks, for them to invest all that money, it really makes people that question the Michael Penix draft pick shake their head so much, because we all blew our head. We were like, what the hell? They could have got this. They could have got that. You just signed a quarterback for $100 million. What you doing drop to the quarterback top 10? Hey, maybe they knew something we didn't. So it's definitely disappointing to see Kirk Cousins go out like that. So Cass, one of the best games of the weekend. The Houston Texans beat the Indianapolis Colts 29-27. What are your thoughts?
I'm pissed. I thought I was a genius. I thought I was the man to call one of the biggest upsets of the week. And I just, again, good teams just find a way to close out games like that, man. And Anthony Richardson played his ass off. I'm gonna continue to be high on Anthony Richardson, and I think that as long as he can stay healthy, he might be in the talks for MVP. I'm not sure if he's ever gonna be a front runner, but I could foresee him being in talks. There was just, first off, let's talk about that bomb that he threw off his back foot, like 70 yards. If y'all haven't seen that play, that's nuts. I know they talk about Josh Allen's arm. Anthony Richardson might have the biggest arm in football. That shit was insane. I'm talking in stride, not underthrown, not on the money. I'm talking old boy had to be like in stride to catch that bad boy with pressure off his back foot. I don't think I've ever seen a throw like that. And it was on point. Like it was on the money. So the Colts could be very good. When I say very good, I mean a lot better than what they were last year. I think the Colts could be a playoff contender. I think they are a playoff contender. They went toe-to-toe with the division rival, and it just came down to the fact that they just didn't have enough left in the tank when it was all said and done. The better team won that. The better team won that day. But don't sleep on the Colts. I think that as long as, like I said, Anthony Richardson stays healthy, they're going to give a lot of teams a lot of problems. That defense just has to show up and get some key stops. I think the offense will do what they do. Jonathan Taylor had a pretty silent game. Anthony Richardson, like I said, he had to put the team on his back. He had a great game. Outside of that, I just think it was like week 1 jitters for the most part, and you're going against C.J. Stroud and Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank. I mean, that's hard, bro. That's tough. That's tough. So I'm mad. I really wanted to call that upset. I was close, but the better team did win. So I'm not upset about it too much, if I'm being honest with you, because the Texans, they're good, man. They're good. They're well coached. They have a great offense, and their defense, they're also well coached on defense. So, Anthony Richardson, just stay positive, brother. Stay positive. You got the sauce, man. You got the sauce.
Go ahead and tell him, Toddy. You've been saying it all weekend. Go ahead and tell the world. I know you want to butt in on this one. Go ahead and tell the world.
Stephon Diggs is washed. Kevin said he's washed. It's not 2018 no more. That's not the Bills no more. He ain't going to be doing all of that. He's dancing in the end zone. Not once, but twice. What was a little dance they did? He went the. Oh, and Kevin also did say that Anthony Richardson is not him. He said he's a running back that can throw the ball very, very far. So I just want to record be shown on that. And this Anthony Richardson is Kevin's quarterback in fantasy. So I don't know how you can talk shit about your own quarterback in fantasy, but I mean, hey, I think AR is the truth. So
all I'm saying is, I never said he was washed. Toddy drafted him in the second round. Said, Kevin, yeah, 100 catches. I said, how many of those were in a Texans jersey? That's all I said. Said it's a crowded room. That's all I said. But he was doing his dancing and doing his thing. Anthony Richardson has a cannon, but the accuracy to anything besides 50 yards, it's kind of shaky. But, moving on, we're going to mix the order because there's a specific game that I want Jaevon to talk about. So, Marcellus, I'm going to swing it to you next. The Buffalo Bills beat the Arizona Cardinals 34-28.
Kyler's back. He looked great. It looked better than what he actually played like, but I feel like Kyler looked a lot better than he did before he tore his ACL. Like, I think Kyler looked really good. The Bills suck. I swear they do. The Bills, Josh Allen is in the same category as Trevor Lawrence and I'm trying to think of the other quarterback. He's on the tip of my tongue. I just think Josh Allen's overrated. He hasn't done anything to really be substantial, so I just feel like Josh Allen's overrated. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Trevor Lawrence are all the same quarterback. Can't convince me otherwise. The Bills' defense looks awful, and the Cardinals look better than they did last year. So I'm just going to skip right over it because I know Toddy's itching to get to the game that he wants to talk about.
So, Toddy, number 1 overall pick. His jersey's hanging up next to Reggie. Didn't do much there. He came in here, number 1 pick, the Hard Knocks, the Michael Jordan theme music. He led a stat that only he can lead. All quarterbacks, all 32 teams threw for a buck. Just one. 1-0-0. And Caleb Williams couldn't do that. First game in Bears history, or not Bears history, the Bears last 10 years, won without a single touchdown. Toddy, what were your thoughts? Chicago Bears beat the Tennessee Titans 24-17 with a top 15 quarterback in Caleb Williams.
Caleb did not play well by any means. He had a lot of missed throws down the field, a lot of what ifs. He had a almost touchdown that was dropped on an out route. I don't know who it was, but he did not play
Keenan
well.
Allen.
It was, yeah, he missed Keenan Allen on a couple of could have had him for a touchdown. A lot of coulda, woulda, shoulda. You wish would have liked to see a lot more from him, but by no means Caleb Williams was carried in this game by the defense, creating several turnovers. I think 2 interceptions. One of them returned for a touchdown, and they also had a blocked punt that was returned for a touchdown. So you had special teams, and you had a defensive touchdown. I don't think that there were no offensive touchdowns scored in this game by the Chicago Bears, and they still won. So there's a lot that everybody can kind of trash Caleb. I get it. But this is a game they would have for sure lost last year. Justin Fields would have figured out a way to lose this game. Hands down. He didn't turn the ball over, so that's a good sign from him. For him being a rookie quarterback and for him being his first game. Did not turn the ball over. That's a positive sign. He needs to not dance around in the pocket. That shit ain't just good. There's only a certain amount of people in the, like we talked about, like Lamar is kind of one of those guys who can kind of get it. Like, I don't know if he's adjusted to the speed of the game yet. So it's like he feels like he can kind of run around and do all this other shit. And there's Jeffrey Simmons dragging you down by one arm. Like, he's one of the best defensive tackles in the league. So I think he needs to adjust to the speed of the game. It seemed kind of way too fast for him. I do still believe he's a top 15 quarterback. It's going to take a lot more film because he doesn't have that much film proving that he is. Marcellus is kind of tilting his head. I've said since we even had my cousin on, Michael Walker. I said that he was a top 15 quarterback. He laughed at me dead in my face. I said after his junior year, he's top 15 quarterback in today's NFL. So this is fresh off the Heisman year. So he's got to play way better. He did not play. He stunk yesterday. It was really bad. And if it weren't for Will Levis giving up the ass yesterday, the Titans should have won the game.
My man had to get on knees and said, "Damn it! I just lost to Caleb fucking Williams."
Yeah, it was bad from Caleb, but the defense saved him. Special team and defense saved him yesterday.
That looked like the Caleb Williams that played against Utah. I'm just saying.
Or Tulane.
Same guy.
Caleb Williams, he looked like a rookie. That's what he looked like. He looked like a fourth round draft pick rookie. That's what he looked like.
Not one, not two,
not
three.
Not three. He looked like a Drew Lock. He looked like he looked as worse as they can get when it comes to a rookie quarterback. I don't think that's going to be long term, but I'm just saying, I'm calling it what it is. If you were to never tell me anything about that guy, Caleb Williams, I've never seen a snap of football in my life, and I were to watch that game and you were to ask my honest opinion, I'd be like, that guy sucks. Who's that guy? That's exactly what I would say without knowing anything about football. So he'll turn it around because guess what? He has no choice. I mean, you can only go up from fucking rock bottom. That was terrible.
92 yards.
So, I mean,
ain't get no lower.
93.
I got Texans on Sunday Night Football.
So can I take the over 93 yards, Sonny?
They got the 6.5. They're 6.5 dog in that game. So
can I take the over 93 yards for Caleb or no?
It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be 93 yards. Yeah.
Moving on to the next game of the weekend, we have the Miami Dolphins beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. Before this game started, there was so much commotion with Tyreek Hill. We're not going to get into that, but when I saw that incident, I went to DraftKings and I said, Tyreek Hill anytime. It's coming. It's coming. And that first half, I said, damn, first game, I'm about to lose my parlay. They're not even going to hit the 1 o'clock games. They came out there and Trevor Lawrence let him down a couple times. Tua was looking like Tua. Jalen Waddle was really consistent in this game, and then Tua was missing bombs. I heard the announcer said, how do you overthrow Tyreek Hill? You could throw it pretty far, but to outthrow him is kind of saying he'll go get it. So for them to kind of come out and be choppy, and it really came down to their defense. Jalen Ramsey was all over the field. Tank Bigsby, I don't know his name. Bigsby. I would have thought Travis Etienne didn't exist. He was carrying that pill. They were doing big, and then I think the whole game changed when Travis Etienne fumbles. When Jaevon Holland was able to make him fumble and they went down and scored and tied the game up, and the Jags had a chance. But unfortunately, the Jags are going to jag, and they got too hot. They were sweating down their neck, down their legs. But I will give Toddy credit. I mean, he's not the only person in the world who said it. Stevie Wonder could have said it. Brian Thomas Jr. is legit. Toddy's going to say he's wide receiver 1. Forget Everett Ingram. Forget Christian Kirk. He's wide receiver 1, Kevin. They don't take him for no reason. I said Christian Kirk's still there, and it was hard to see him. But, Brian Thomas Jr.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I got him on a fantasy team. I'm a believer. That's what I'm saying. You're not the only one who said it, but he just ain't wide receiver 1. So moving on to the next game, Cash, we have the Jim Harbaugh era. The Los Angeles Chargers beat the Las Vegas Raiders 22-10.
That game turned out the way it was supposed to turn out. I mean, first off, J.K. Dobbins apparently is still him. I don't know how. Coming off of an Achilles tear as a running back, that's usually closed curtains for your career normally. But he had some good burst speed. He hit the hole hard, and we're gonna see a new Chargers team when it comes to the offense moving forward. They have no wide receivers right now; they just don't. But they do have some guys on the offensive line like Rashawn Slater, guys like that former number 1 draft picks that are very good at what they do. And then they got the 1-2 punch that is Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins from Baltimore, mixed in with a little bit of Justin Herbert, who can thread the needle when it needs to be thread, and you have a solid offense. Not a great offense, a solid offense. I'm not really sure how an offense like the Chargers offense is going to fare when it comes to being down, but the Raiders have Gardner Minshew at quarterback, you guys, and come on. I mean, I like the guy. I like Gardner. I think he's one of the best backups in the league. I really do, but he's not a guy that's going to go out there and win you games week in, week out. If Gardner Minshew is going to win you games, it's because, just like you mentioned about Kirk Cousins having Justin Jefferson, it's because of who he's throwing the ball to, not what he's doing with the ball. So Gardner Minshew came out, played a very, very Gardner Minshew-like game. The Chargers, the more poised team, the better coach team, if you were to ask me. Even though Harbaugh is coming back to the, he's been to a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? You can't be that bad if you've been to a Super Bowl. He's also won a national title, right, in college. So it's like he goes to back to the NFL. He coaches his team to a victory, a comfortable one at that. It's expected. I think on paper that the Chargers have a better team everywhere besides in the wide receiver position, but it doesn't matter because, like I said, Minshew's not the kind of guy that's going to get those guys the ball. So we gotta wait another couple weeks for Devonta Adams to just not get his fair share of the rock, and hope that they make some changes in Las Vegas. But Gardner's not the man, and it just is what it is. So for you guys out there that want to play some bets when it comes to the Raiders, you could probably bet the over on almost every game, because if they're not scoring points, the other team's scoring 40 moving forward. So expected. Chargers don't have a good offense, and they still handle them quite comfortably.
I, for one, Ty and I did a draft reaction show, was screaming Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze at 5. There's no way. Kaz just talked about the wide receiver room. It's the 4 of us and Lad McConkey. What are they doing? Joe Alt, 11 one-on-ones with Max Crosby and gave up 0 pressures. Maybe Jim's a fucking genius, but fuck scoring touchdowns if you can block Max Crosby one-on-one, right? We can find someone to catch the ball. Everyone can't block Max Crosby. So moving on, Todd, the next game, we have the Seattle Seahawks beating the Denver Broncos 26-20.
Seattle started out slow in this game. I thought Bo Nix looked comfortable early, and then it kind of came to him, hit him really fast. Kenneth Walker got going towards the end of the game. I think he had about 2 touchdowns. It was they started to make Bo Nix look like a rookie, like Kat was saying about Caleb Williams. I don't think any of the rookie quarterbacks played particularly well in week 1, but you're on the road against in Seattle, one of the toughest places to play. You can only expect so much. So Sean Payton tried to steer the storm or steer him through the storm a little bit. But I don't really know what to make of Seattle, and we don't expect the Broncos to really be good. So it's like for them to kind of come out guns blazing, it was like, oh, okay, that's kind of a surprise. But I feel like Seattle is still Seattle to me. I don't really see anything that made me go, wow, they could be an NFC playoff team. I just didn't see it. So I don't know why. There was a lot of people really high on Seattle, and I'm just like, are we not watching the same Geno Smith? And like, how was Pete Carroll? And I'm like, okay. Then they go out and get a Mike McDonald from, I believe it was the Ravens. He's a defensive guy. He's the youngest head coach. So I'm just like, Seattle still needs a quarterback. So it's like, let's try and figure this thing out here. But I guess Seattle won. They're supposed to win.
All right, Marcellus. So another game that had some breaking news beforehand. Dak Prescott is now the highest paid quarterback in NFL history with an annual contract of $60 million. He finds out that news and leads them to a 33-7 victory, 17, over the Cleveland Browns. What were your thoughts?
I think that Cleveland overpaid Deshaun Watson, and now it's going to hurt him because he is absolutely awful. And I don't want to say that Dallas, it was expected. I don't know how Dallas was the underdog in that. Like, honestly, I don't see why because, yeah, I get it. The Browns did have a really good defense last year, but I don't see Dallas being an underdog in that game because I feel like Dallas has a better offense than Cleveland has a better defense. Like, I felt like it just showed. And then it doesn't help Deshaun Watson. Like, I feel like the defense is kind of looking at him like, hey, we kind of need some help. We've been on the field all day. Like, they can't cut him. They can't get rid of him because it's going to cost them way more to cut him than to just keep him and play and just watch him.
$71 million.
Yeah, $71 million. You're going to have to suffer and deal with that $71 million at quarterback for the period of his contract. And I don't see Deshaun getting re-signed anywhere else. He might be one of those veteran quarterbacks that kind of just falls off like Cam Newton did. Like, it's just I hate to say it, Cam Newton's one of my favorite quarterbacks, but I watched his career die. Like, I think Deshaun Watson, like, we're slowly watching his career die. Like, I haven't seen anything, even from last year to now. You would think that it'd be a drastic change, but he still doesn't look comfortable in that offense. Like, I feel like at this point, he's just uncomfortable in that offense, that scheme, or what. You had a whole offseason to really get comfortable with it, and it still looks piss poor. So, and don't ever money line the Browns versus the Cowboys.
You know, I was also one that was really hoping that the Browns would come out and do it. So the next game we are going to cover is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Baker Mayfield sent Jaden Daniels home with his first L of his NFL career. I think Jaden Daniels showed us exactly what he can do. He can sling it down the field. You know, the accuracy is there. Isn't always there, but at the end of that 3-5 step drop, he's gonna look to his left and his right and say, "I'm gonna fucking run." We said Lamar did it. 20 more yards, he would have had 100 yards. For him to have 88 yards and 16 carries goes to show that he might only throw the ball 24 times a game, but he's going to run it 15 times. So to see them kind of have that dual threat quarterback really made you wonder, like, damn, did we waste our money getting Austin Eckler? We have our second running back. You know, we're going to give him those carries versus Austin Eckler, who had 2 carries for 10 yards in this game. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that dynamic moves moving forward. Brian Robinson Jr. looked great. I was really disappointed in Gary Terry for him to have 2 receptions for 17 yards, killed my fantasy. So that really hurt. But Baker Mayfield, 24 for 30, and he threw for 289 yards and 4 touchdowns. We are seeing Baker Mayfield do his thing. We were just talking about in the segment prior about Deshaun Watson. They gave up Baker Mayfield because they needed a grown man in the locker room. Hey, man, I don't know what you want me to say. Led him to the playoffs, got paid. He's doing his thing. I think one of the biggest things that came out from this game was the dual backfield. Rachaad White did his thing last year. He was a high running back in fantasy. But you know what? Bucky did his thing. 9 attempts for 62 yards, and Tyler's gonna say, "Yeah, Kevin, Baltimore University. I got Bucky in the 5th round. Fuck with me." You know, Toddy, you had him on your bench for a reason, so you can't sit here and say you know ball.
I got Saquon and Alvin Kamara on my team, so I mean, hey,
you got a flex that had 1 point. Go ahead and tell me what your flex is, Toddy.
We know ball on the side.
Yeah. You played 4.
We had Adonai Mitchell on our flex, and guess what?
And Brian and who's the tight end? Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram. Yeah, he didn't do shit.
My man played 4 kickers. Won a game.
It's okay. We're gonna be okay. We know ball on the side. Kev likes to criticize me for my fantasy team, says I don't know what I'm doing. I led the league in points, so
he outscored me by 9 points. He makes it seem like Toddy was the highest dude by 20 points.
Hey.
I mean, you played 4 kickers, Toddy. I hope that.
Who had the most points in fantasy this week?
You did, sir.
Okay, so that's one. We know ball. We know ball on the side.
Are you predicting to win next week?
I mean,
or week after that? After that. All right, we're gonna be moving on here. So, before we get into week 2 picks, I have been thinking about this all day. So I figured there's no better way to get my answers than to come on the show. So we have a fact or cap this week. So Toddy, I'm going to swing it to you first. Fact or cap? Kirk Cousins will get benched before Deshaun Watson.
Oh, this is a good one. Wow, Kirk looked god-awful. I don't think he looked... Damn, Deshaun looked so bad yesterday. Like, put J-Boo in the game. I'm trying to eat a W. I think this is a cap. I think Deshaun might get benched first. Because this offense, this is the same team that literally went to the playoffs last year with a guy they got off the street in Joe Flacco. So, I mean, according to Jameis Winston, he was balling when he went 30 for 30. He got that LASIK eye surgery. He ain't started since. So, I would love to see Jameis Winston get in the game and get him in one of those huddles. But there's just so much money involved in Shaun, too. Like, it's like, I'm paying you $230 to sit on the bench. So, Yeah, I'm going to say that this is cap. I think, even though I think both will eventually get benched if they keep playing the way that they do. I don't know. I feel like Kirk will get better, but I mean, that was so bad in the first game. Like, you might want to hit the red button. So, wow, because they got.
I'm about to say you said cap, but I feel like you're going back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because they got a guy right behind them that's ready to go. So I'm gonna say cap because there's just too much money involved with. Yeah,
both.
Both, man. I don't know. They both
You got it for that.
They both think so. I'm gonna say this is a cap. I think Deshaun will get benched first.
All right, Kaz, I'm gonna swing it to you next. Factor cap. Kirk Cousins will be benched before Deshaun Watson.
It's cap. They're probably both not going to get benched for the season, but Kirk ain't getting benched. They'll figure it out. Kirk immediately got the man, the myth, what was supposed to be legend Kyle Pitts involved in the end zone. His first week playing for the Atlanta Falcons. I think that as long as you can get that guy the ball and working some Drake London, get some protection for Kirk Cousins, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, it's week 1, and it's just weird, man. It's a weird week. You know, you can ask this question, the same kind of question about a lot of guys. I talked about it earlier today about how all these big name receivers didn't do shit week 1. You know, Kirk's a big name guy. He got paid. He got the bag too. He didn't get a Deshaun Watson bag, but he got paid. You know what I mean? Kirk fleeced the league once again. So they're not going to go, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and bench you real quick because we got this guy that we drafted, which I understand that he may be the future, but like for right now, you got a guy that's getting a guy like Kyle Pitts involved for the first time in his whole entire career in 4 years. And it was week 1 and it's everything's new there. So I think Kirk will pan out like he normally does. Like I said, stats don't lie when it comes to Kirk Cousins. You guys know by now I'm very high on Kirk Cousins. He's the guy who's going to give you 4,000 yards every season. He's done it his whole career. Why would that stop now? Yeah, it's not going to stop. So I think Kirk finishes out the season. The offense gets rolling. I'll be surprised if Deshaun gets benched, but if he does get benched, it's going to happen before Kirk. So that is definitely cap.
All right, Marcellus, I'm going to swing it to you next. Factor cap. Kirk Cousins will be benched before Deshaun Watson.
Cap. They're gonna live or die by Kirk. I think that's why they brought him there because at the end of the day, that's still a good veteran to have in front of Penix. Like I don't see it going any other way. Deshaun, on the other hand, like he's gonna cop out with a shoulder injury, and JMO's gonna be in there. I'm just saying that's Deshaun's getaway plan. Is like I'm hurt, I couldn't finish the season, shoulders hurt. But I'm definitely going to say cap. Like, they're not going to throw – I don't think they're going to throw Penix in there. Not right now.
Factor cap. Kirk Cousins will be benched before Deshaun Watson. This is a fact. We have heard all summer. It's time for these 3 young dudes to produce. We had Hennix. Or not Hennix. We had the dude from Washington. You had Ritter. You tried so much. Josh Dobbs was there for a couple weeks. And it wasn't working. So what do? $100 million man off of Achilles? Fuck it. Aaron Rodgers coming back. Why can't you come back? The Atlanta Falcons in the second half averaged 1 yard per play in the second half. Yes, Steelers defense is legit. We have seen this play out before. You guys remember Russell Wilson? The Denver Broncos were eating $90 million in cap, dead cap. They said, we'd rather eat this cap than to see number 3 back on that damn field. You know what? We don't care. Get on out of here. With Deshaun Watson, you've seen how far this team can go without a quarterback. So the hope alone, you got to keep him going. There's no hope for Kirk Cousins. They have been shit, and they haven't done anything yet. You already drafted a guy, Michael Penix, who can come in, and we saw in the preseason make some plays. Yes, I'm the first person to say that. They're not playing their first strings. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. But we saw him go out there and do his thing. They didn't draft him that high for no reason. So do they know something that we didn't know? For Kirk Cousins to go out there and throw 2 picks, and without that touchdown, probably not score a single offensive touchdown that whole game. This Atlanta Falcons team has so much They went all in on defense. They brought in Jonnu Smith. They got Justin Simmons. They made all these moves because they believe they are a quarterback away from being a playoff contender. And at this point, you look around the league, a lot of guys that don't got a quarterback. You know, we got a Kirk Cousins. Who knows? Come be some of this cat, and let's wipe our hands with it. But I believe Kirk Cousins will be benched before Deshaun Watson. So we are going to now get into our Week 2 NFL picks. We have about 30 minutes left, so let's try to keep this on the faster side. So we're going to start in the same order that we went in with the picks. So, Kaz, we're going to start with you first. We have Thursday Night Football. We have the Buffalo Bills playing the Miami Dolphins. Who do you have and why?
So you're kind of catching me a little off guard here because, I do my weekly predictions. And I usually spend all Tuesday morning to go through in-depth analysis as to why I picked the teams that I pick. But just spitballing here, seeing what I saw last week, this is a division game. It's obviously the Dolphins are favored by 1.5, which is saying that they expect this game to be very close. The Dolphins went toe-to-toe with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bills went toe-to-toe with the Arizona Cardinals. Man, if I had to guess, man, this might be one of those times, guys, where's it at? I'm ready this time.
Uh-oh, here comes the coin.
I gotta flip a coin. So we're gonna go heads for the Buffalo Bills, tails for the Dolphins, and it looks like it's gonna be heads, the Buffalo Bills. So I'll take the Buffalo Bills to win this week, the Week 2 matchup against the Dolphins. Outside of the coin toss, on a more serious note, I think the reason why the Bills will win is just because the Dolphins defense won't have an answer for Josh. I think the Bills offense will surprise a lot of us this year, even though they did take a step backwards. You still got Josh on that offense. He's a guy to where you literally, not that I would ever wish this on any player, you got to injure him to stop him, bro. He cannot be stopped. He's just like Anthony Richardson. He's a guy to where it's like he's going to get his yards, he's going to get his numbers, and I think that when it comes down to it, Miami's going to get a little too cute. Probably throw a few picks in that game, and it's going to come down to just clock management. And for some reason, I think the Buffalo Bills will just find a way to steal this one on the road. So they're 1.5-point dogs against the Miami Dolphins, which is saying that, like I said, this game's expected to be close. But I'm going to go with the Bills to take it. I think that Josh Allen will just have a day over Tua. So,
all right, Toddy, who do you have in the Bills Dolphins game next week? Thursday night.
Yeah, no, this game is kind of tough because they usually play each other really close. I'll probably run with the Bills. I'm going to take the better quarterback. I get it. They have Tyreek Hill. They have Jalen Waddle. I get that. Last year, I think this game was Miami, and it was like one of the last games of the season. The Bills needed to win that game, and they won on the road. It was late in the season. I think the Bills probably win this game, and it probably goes under the total. I'm seeing 48.5 on both bottom. So I mean, it's going to be a close game. These teams play each other all the time, twice a year. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I think the Bills win. They're plus 115 is what I'm seeing.
All right, Marcellus, you're next. Bills or Dolphins, Week 2.
Give me the Dolphins. The Bills have no true number one receiver. Just give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, I want to say the Dolphins well, man. They started off slow last week, and they were somehow, some way able to pull that game out. And I think when you can win games like that early, the dogfight games, it's going to be easy. Like Marcellus said, the Bills have no true number one. We saw them get Cook active very early, so that might be something to look at. But I'm really interested to see how this Week 2 matchup goes. The next game, Cass, Vikings versus the Niners. Who are you taking?
Oh, Lord. Vikings at Niners?
Yes. No. Vikings at Niners. Niners at Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're in Minnesota. Well, Vikings defense, man, they might be legit. I think it's too early to tell, but I'm taking the Niners to win. Doesn't matter. Christian McCaffrey's probably gonna make his return, and if he doesn't, you just saw what happened tonight. Who is that?
JP Mason, our third string running back. He's a dog.
Whoever the hell he is. If he can take on a workload of 29 carries, that's like a Derrick Henry prime Ezekiel Elliott workload, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's insane. And lead the team to victory against a very good Jets defense. The Jets defense, they never have been a joke. They're still not a joke. The Niners, they're just if the Niners are going to lose a game, they're going to lose a game to a formidable opponent. And right now, the Vikings are not that. Sam Darnold is going to be in hell badly. It's not going to be pretty. Justin Jefferson's going to get his numbers, and that's going to be pretty much it. Aaron Jones might have a solid game. I don't think that he has a game like he did this previous week, but all in all, the Niners are just way too much. Niners all day and cover the spread.
All right, Toddy, what are we thinking?
I mean, Kaz kind of said everything. Niners win in dominant fashion on Monday Night Football. They're going against their former second-string quarterback and Sam Darnold.
You guys don't get to always be on primetime, Toddy. It's not Monday Night Football.
Yeah, well,
we got Monday night.
Man,
no, I said the Niners just
y'all beat the Jets one time, and now every night we got to be primetime, huh?
Okay. But I mean, it's just Sam Darnold. He's coming off a season under the San Francisco 49ers. I just think the Niners are gonna make him. They're gonna pants him, and it's gonna be on the road. I like Justin Jefferson. Like I already mentioned, I like their weapons, but I just think Sam Darnold is going to look like Sam Darnold next week. Don't be fooled by the facade of what you saw against the god-awful New York Giants.
Y'all not the Giants?
We are not the Giants. So let's just get that out your head. So when you start to see Sam Darnold throwing picks, you're like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? So
he turned into a pumpkin.
Yeah, turn into a pumpkin. Give me the Niners.
All right, Marcellus, you're taking the Niners. We all know that, but why are you taking the Niners?
Sam Darnold sucks. He's never been good, so I don't know why he's in the discussion now. I don't know what the spread is, but I would take it an 8 or 10. Yeah. I don't know if they'll score. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you guys all hit it on the nail on the top. This is going to be a dominant game for the 49ers. It's already said that CMC's likely out for this game. The way your third string running back ran, CMC, go ahead, man, take it off. Fuck Kevin's parlay future, but you know what? Go ahead. It's the Madden curse. We believe in it, so we gonna keep you on ice until December, January. All right, just don't even worry about it, sweetheart.
And according to ESPN, it's their Niners are 5-point dogs. Oh, sorry, Vikings are 5-point dogs. 5-point dogs. So
10. Take it at 10.
It was 8.
Honestly,
now he said 10.
Maybe even 13.5. Fuck it.
Yeah, disrespectful. This next game, I'm interested to see what you guys say. We have the Giants and the Commanders, Cass. Who you pick?
Oh, boy.
I'm riding with your homeboy, Jaden Daniels. You know what I'm saying? I think the Commanders had opportunities against the Bucs, but the Bucs just played a good ass game, dog. I mean, Mike Evans he was just daddying him out there, bro. It's like, man, get out of here, bro. I'm Mike Evans, bro. You get 1K all day with me every season. I've been doing this shit for 10 years, legitimately, bro. I'm putting 1,000 on your head. There's nothing you can do about it. So the Bucs came out. They did what they were supposed to do against a very new and improved Washington Commanders team, and they shut shit down. Moving on, the Giants are bad, y'all. They're really bad. Daniel Jones is bad, and I think it's going to be a shootout. I think that the over on this game is going to hit big time. I don't think that neither defense is going to stop either offense. I think that Jaden Daniels going to have a game. I think Malik Neighbors finds the end zone, who have a pretty solid game. But all in all, I'm going Washington all day. Jaden Daniels showed me enough in 1 week. He's a real baller, and I mean, you had Giants fans waiting outside the tunnel for Daniel Jones to leave to literally boo this man to his face. That man don't give a fuck no more. He's ready to retire and get the fuck out of there. Like, honestly. So, Giants, you'll show some signs of life, but Washington all day. And I think Washington covers the spread too. I think it's 2.5 points.
I also believe actually, I don't. I think the Giants are going to get this done. After the hard knocks, after week 1, they're booing Daniel Jones on the way out of his home arena. This front office got to get a win. And, their schedule's pretty hard, but you can't go 0-2. You can't lose to the Commanders. This is a quarterback you could have drafted. They brought in the Hard Knocks episode. Should we trade up for Jaden Daniels? And now you're playing him. He can't light you up. No matter what, you got to walk away with this W, or it might be pitchforks. fuck a brown bag. New York is hungry, and they want it now. So, Toddy, who are you taking in the Giants' first Commanders game?
I just want to start by saying I might have been a little bit off on the Commanders by picking them to go to the playoffs. This game, I think both teams are similar playing fields, but I think the Commanders win this game, probably cover the spread as well. I don't know what the Giants are going to do, what life Kevin is saying that he saw from last week. They got curb stomped by the Vikings, and the Vikings aren't even that good. So it's like, Daniel Jones, what are you hoping to see from him? I'm not sure, but I mean, I don't predict anything well going for the Giants. I think the Panthers and the Giants are probably the two worst teams in the league. So, Commanders are favored by 2.5. I think they probably win. They probably cover. Jaden Daniels will probably have a really good game. We'll see a lot of highlights from him. It's going to be very, very. It'll probably be entertaining to watch because it's Jaden Daniels, so you'll probably want to watch to see what he's doing. But I think the Commanders probably win. But yeah, moving on to the next game, we have the New England Patriots. They are at home against the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle is favored by 3.5 points. Marcellus, I'm swinging to you first, my friend.
Give me the Patriots.
Okay.
-3.
You're going to buy it down to 3? It's at 3.5.
I'm going to take the Patriots -3. So I should be plus no matter what I do.
Oh, you're alt-lining it. You think the Patriots are going to win.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me see what that is.
Because I don't see I don't see Seattle stopping the run. I don't think they're going to do it. And Bo Nix just had his way with Seattle. So
you could get New England -2.5 on Bovada plus 165.
give me that.
That's
those are not bad. That was actually not bad.
That's first half. My bad.
I was gonna say, I was like, what the hell? I was gonna be like plus like 350 or something.
Yeah, that should be like plus. That should be plus money. Probably Cass could pick that up.
Give me that.
Yeah,
give me that line. Give me the Pats. I'm convinced.
Cass, who do you got?
I'm taking the Seahawks in this one. I dig the Patriots what they did this previous week. They showed that even though we look like dog shit on paper, sometimes saying if you got guys who want it more, they can get the job done. But Seattle, I'll stick it to my guns, man. I told you guys at the beginning of the season in the first podcast, I said I'm a firm believer that Tariq Woolen will finish as a top 3 cornerback in the NFL. And I'm sticking with it. I think that 1-2 punch with Woolen and Devin Witherspoon is going to give quarterbacks a problem. You're going to need to be an elite level quarterback to throw on the Seattle defense. I'm sticking with that until I can't anymore. I don't think that the Patriots show up with Jacoby Brissett under center and they carve that secondary up. Now, as for the run D, I mean they might get their numbers, or not run D, but they're rushing tandem with who they got, Ramondre Stevenson, and they have somebody else there too, but mainly Ramondre. He'll probably get his numbers, but it's week 1, guys. We can't take week 1 and just say this was going to happen every week. Now we got tape. Okay, now we got scouting reports. So I think that Seattle makes the right adjustments, and New England gets exposed for the bad team that they're supposed to be. I think Seattle takes it, and they probably take it comfortably.
I think New England probably wins this game. This is going to be like a very mucky up, a very dirty, low scoring, grind out game. And what I saw, what New England was able to do on the road against Joe Burrow, and you're like, oh, I got to play Geno? Gerard Mayo, the Pats are 2-0 after this week. Like, it's kind of crazy to say. If I were to bet this game, I'd probably take the under. But I don't know how Seattle – I feel like Seattle's going to run into some problems against this Patriots scheme. That's insane to say. I could be talking out of my ass right now, but I do think the Patriots are going to make it a low-scoring game, and I feel like those are the games that they usually win, is those low-scoring type of games. Mayo is, obviously played for Bill Belichick, all those years. I feel like they're going to be using a similar scheme to what they were doing those years they were winning championships. Now, I get they're playing Jacoby Brissett, but Brissett's not really going to do anything to lose the game. So he's not going to put it in harm's way. The defense is going to be pretty good from what I've seen so far. So, I mean, give me the Patriots.
That's feeling kind of frisky there, huh, Toddy?
Yeah. I guess
Who's next?
You.
Oh, me. Perfect timing. So the Seahawks at the Patriots. I don't know what Toddy just explained to y'all on why you should take the Patriots, but I've been making it known. This is the division champs the Patriots playing. This ain't no slouch. I get a draw mail. You know, you got your week 1. You beat the Bengals. You're coming in high. This is Tariq Woolen house. You know, 2 safeties. Name another team that forced 2 safeties, huh? All right. I'm taking the Seahawks, baby. I think this is going to be a good game. You know, they after the week 1 performance, they looked like shit. You're going low from there. You know, it's okay for Caleb to go up, but not the Seahawks, huh? Give me the Hawks, baby. So, Cavs, I'm going to swing it to you next. We have the Saints versus the Cowboys.
Well, Cowboys don't lose at home in the regular season. It's that simple. They win every regular season game at home. Literally every last one of them. Saints, dude, first off, the Cowboys defense played lights out. Derek Carr is going to have what his typical Derek Carr game, probably 2-3 interceptions, maybe 175 yards, and then that's going to be about it. They're going to feast on Derek Carr. He's going to get sacked a bunch of times. He's for sure going to throw at least 2 interceptions, and the Cowboys are going to run away with it. Take the Cowboys spread. Alternate. Take the Cowboys, minus 10. Like straight up, minus 10. They're going to roll the Saints badly. Opening night at Jerry World, yeah, Cowboys all day, no ands, ifs, or buts. All
right, Toddy, is this the game where Spencer Rattler gets a snap?
No, but I'm seeing you can get the Cowboys at minus 9 at plus 125. So I mean, I can only imagine what 10 would be. The Cowboys are favored by 6.5 points, basically a touchdown. Vegas is telling you that do not fall for what the Saints put on display this past Sunday against the Panthers, as we saw Derek Carr talking shit to J.C. Horn saying, I got 3 touchdowns on you. Like, hey, bro, you're not like that. Okay. Another thing, I was probably wrong on the Cowboys early in our season predictions. I said the Cowboys wouldn't be that good. As Dak Prescott lit up the freaking Browns, was slinging it all over the field. Sorry, Kaz, CeeDee Lamb couldn't get in the end zone, but Brandon Cooks found the end zone. And Ezekiel Elliott scored a touchdown. That still blows my mind. And he's doing he's eating again, guys. So the Cowboys got some momentum. I think they win this game. I think they probably beat the shit out of the Saints. Do not fall for this trap in the Saints, guys. Don't fall for they just put up 50 points. Let's reel it back here. It's Derek Carr. He only threw for 200 yards. And, yeah, I'm not falling for the Saints trap. Give me the Cowboys. The Cowboys probably cover.
All right, Marcellus. We got 2 picks for the Cowboys. Are you going to make it there?
Yeah, Cowboys boat race the Saints. Yeah. Simple. They're going to boat race them. Fucking Derek Carr is awful.
First game in Jerry's World, like Haz was mentioning, and they re-signed their guys. They're going to open the doors. You're going to see all the Cowboy fans running there. It's going to be a long night for Mr. Derek Carr. Another long game. I think this will be a short one from all of us. Kaz, we have the Chargers at Carolina.
Yeah, this might be the upset of the week. I'm not going to take it, but wouldn't be surprised if Carolina somehow pulls this out of their ass. And I don't know why. You know what I mean? It's just one of those games where it's like, if it's going to happen, it's going to be something stupid like this game. Just like last week when it was the Patriots and Bengals. Quick story real quick. So I'm in a Survivor League with like 200 plus people. And I kid you not, everybody who picked the Bengals week 1, that accumulated to about probably 85% of the Survivor League. Everybody's already out.
Yeah, it's like
everybody's already out. Because if you don't know about Survivor Leagues, is each week you pick a team, and if they win, you advance, but you can't pick the team ever again. So everything said Bengals along the entire spreadsheet. the Survivor League's almost over in week 1. So I can foresee it happening. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lot closer than what people expect, but all in all, the Chargers to win. Better coach, better team, just better everything. Chargers to win. They're probably going to run the ball 1,000,001 times and just control the clock, and it's going to be low scoring, but Chargers should be on top. I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina scores no more than 9 points.
All right, Toddy, swing to you next. Chargers at Panthers. Who are you taking and why?
If the Chargers win, I think Harbaugh's going to run the shit out of the ball. I don't know if Carolina's going to be able to score. Yeah, give me the Chargers.
Marcellus, you going to make it 3 in a row? You're muted.
Mute, man.
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Okay.
Yeah, give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm gonna double down, man. The Chargers, we've seen what they were able to do. I, for one, love J.K. Dobbins. I'm happy to see him out, like Shaun, like has mentioned, coming off an Achilles, for him to come in there and really be the bell cow back. That's really nice for them to see. Blake Corum. Oh, no, he's on the Rams. Just kidding. But the Chargers, J.K. Dobbins look really good, so I'm gonna take the Chargers as well. This next game, Cass, Browns at Jaguars. Can Deshaun get a win? Who walks away 0-2?
I'm not pulling the quarter out. I'm going to really try. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this game. I think that Deshaun Watson's legitimate ass. And even though he's got guys that can make plays for him, I think that Trevor Lawrence will just keep finding a way. I mean, he just went to who the Jags played. They went toe-to-toe with Miami. I think that speaks a lot about Trevor Lawrence and that Jacksonville Jaguars team before they ask me, because Miami was no joke entering that game, and they're going to continue to not be a joke. I think that I had Miami, if I'm not mistaken, winning the division. So if that's going to be true, and Jacksonville went toe-to-toe with them, Cleveland coming off of just getting destroyed by the Cowboys. I think that they have a pretty solid game against the Jags. If the Jags still has won, more poise, better quarterback play, and I think ETN gets his lick back too. I think ETN has a good game. So even though the Browns are known for having a good defense, Myles Garrett on that line, I think that they just find a way to get ETN to get his lick back, like I said, and probably have a set of touchdowns. So Christian Kirk's gonna have a good game. Trevor will have a good game. ETN will have a good game. All around, Jags probably should win comfortably. So.
All right, Toddy, I'm going to bring it to you next. Who walks away 0-2? Cleveland Browns or the Jacksonville Jaguars?
The Browns lose this game. I'll take the Jags to win it. Everything was kind of going right for them until, like you said, you mentioned earlier, Travis Etienne fumbled to the back of the end zone. They kind of fell apart after that. Jaguars are favored by 3.5. I probably lay the 3.5. Shaun, you got to show me something, big dog. You got to show me something. So saw some flashes from Trevor Lawrence. I would like to see him get Evan Ingram involved, not just because he's on my fantasy team, but because he was like one of the top leaders in catches in the league last year. So we'll see him get a little bit more involved in the offense. But I like the Jags to win.
All right, Marcellus, who walks away 0-2?
I'm going to say the Browns are going to win. I don't want to, but I'm going to say just because their defense that I don't like Trevor Lawrence that much, so I'll take the Browns.
Toddy knows who I'm going for. Duval, baby. Dougie P, they going to get it done. They're going to get it done. So for time purposes, we're going to speed this up a little bit. So we're each going to get one game apiece to kind of speed this up a little bit quickly. So Cass, Anthony Richardson versus QB2 for the Green Bay Packers. Who you taking?
Give me the Colts all day, baby. This is where he gets his get back, bro. Played a good game again last week against the Texans. That dude's a gamer, man, and he's not the kind of guy that seems like he's just gonna take that L lightly. I expect the Colts to come out there and really get after this game. So it's a winnable game. I really like the Packers when they have Jordan Love under center, but he's out for about 4 to 6 weeks. I don't even know who their backup is. I don't really care. I think that the Colts just are going to go out there and handle business. So Colts all day. It could still end up being a close game, but I think the Colts squeak away with the win. So,
all right, Toddy. Do the Jets bounce back against the Titans next week?
Absolutely. I don't have the spread for this game because we just beat the shit out of them, but I think they bounce back. I thought Aaron Rodgers looked comfortable early in the game, but it kind of drifted off because the Niners defense is one of the best in the league. So, I mean, hey, when you make a Hall of Famer look the way he does, I mean, that's saying something. But I do think that the Jets bounce back and win. It was good to see Aaron Rodgers back out there and play more than 4 snaps. But give me the Jets.
Yeah, they're
All right,
4-point favorites, by the way.
Jeez. All right, Marcellus, who walks away with their first L? The Tampa Bay Bucks or the Detroit Lions in Detroit?
Give me the Lions. Simple. Yeah, they played a sloppy game the other day, but I got the Lions winning. And Baker, they're going to prove that he's still mediocre, and that's just going to be it.
You guys are going to hate me. I think this is where cigars are smoked in the locker room in Baltimore. The Raiders go on the road and beat the Ravens. He beat Patrick. Can Lamar do that? Hey, crazier shit has happened. Cass said the upset of the week was going to be the Panthers. Don't be surprised if they're smoking cigars in Lamar's house. They don't know what to do with Derrick Henry. Every time he's under center, they're yelling, run, 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 run. Every time he's on the field, they're run, run, run. Are they going to start passing in the ball? Hell no. And if Lamar's going to run around all the game, you're good. You know? Isaiah likely was a 15. If he wore a 14, I think the league will be on notice. But until further notice, they're smoking cigars in the locker room.
You can get the Ravens or you can get the Raiders at plus 345 if you're feeling pretty.
All right, Kaz. We have the Rams and Arizona. Who's walking away with the W?
Division game. It's going to be tough. I think I'm going to go ahead and roll with Arizona to win this one. I think that they'll be able to run on the Rams. Rams are a team that can obviously be ran on all day, all night. They're definitely missing the presence of Aaron Donald. And you guys think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have one catch? What do you have, 1 or 2 catch? I think he had 1 catch. Again, nah, he's going to get involved. And I think that Kyler finally has his feet wet. He's ready to roll. Probably going to be the James Conner show. Wouldn't be surprised. I think James Conner has a brilliant game. I think that Kyler extends some plays with his feet and puts him in a position to win this game. But all in all, no Puka Nacua. It's the Cooper Cup show. It's going to be a shootout, and I think that Arizona just finds a way to get this one. So, going with James Conner to lead the way and Arizona to win.
All right, Toddy. They once called this what did they say? Burrowhead. The Bengals going back to Burrowhead. Who's walking around with the W?
Give me the Chiefs. Lay the points, 5.5. Bengals did not look good. Start the season. Chiefs look great on opening night. Mahomes is going to deal the pill like a shady pharmacist. And I just think it's going to be – I just think the Chiefs will win. I think they probably win by double digits. But I would take the points here, and the Chiefs win.
All right, Marcellus, you got the slugfest, another bad 125 game. But the Steelers are heading to the Broncos. Who walks away with the W?
I live for these type of games. Give me Future's son, stepdad, and the Steelers to pull it off.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
That's one way.
One way to do it. So, Toddy, I'm going to let you take this game.
Oh.
He's going to paint his nails. Fuck C.J. Stroud. He's heading to Houston. Does he get an actual 100-yard game? What we thinking?
Don't be dumb.
This is the Nino Brown meme of him crying, holding the gun in his hand, about to shoot. I forget what his boy's name was in New Jack City. Give me the Texans. Lay the points. They're 6.5-point favorites. I think Caleb's just going to look lost again against DeMeco Ryans. Like the Titans defense, I think is really good, but I think against this Houston Texans defense, thought they looked pretty solid in week 1. CJ is going to probably, and it hurts me to say this, I think CJ is going to look like the better quarterback. It's going to be on Sunday Night Football, so a lot of people are going to be tuned in, but yeah, I think the Bears lose this game.
And then the last game, we have primetime Kirk coming back to Philly. Past 2 years, it's been just nightmares. I know it's dreams and nightmares, but it's just been nightmares every time he comes.
It's gonna be ugly.
It's gonna be ugly. You know, prime time Kirk, he ain't won since the you like that season. And that's when they play twice a year. So there's no Justin this time. I think he's getting benched here time soon. So if Michael Penix gets a showing in this game, who knows? But as long as Kirkio Chains is behind there, give me the Eagles. Take the points. Take the Jalen Hurts anytime. Take the Saquon anytime. We running it up. Y'all think shit was sweet last week. Watch till we put up. Give them. They ain't gonna score a single point.
Upset of the week.
Falcons.
I lose my damn mind. We lost.
I would, yeah.
I'd
might go ahead and.
If
I'd rather Raiders smoke cigars.
if
Kirkio Chains with all their chains after the game.
if Avonte Maddox has a matchup with Kyle Pitts in the slot.
Well, Isaiah Rodgers is back, so hopefully Maddox is back to holding the clipboard.
It don't matter, but we putting out 45.
So that is going to do it for episode 112 of Stats of Politics. Marcellus, thank you so much for joining us. Kaz and Toddy, like always, we will get a full graphic out this week regarding the picks. So the games that we only did one pick, you'll get to know what each of us think. Please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We are everywhere. We are like COVID, baby. We are worldwide. We are global. Please continue to follow us. And before we get off, I wanted to just give a huge shout out to Kaz. Kazzy Bear TV just hit 500 subscribers. That is the road Stats Over Politics is getting to. So we have a great example in front of us. So please go be at 501, 502 because he's growing and he's growing fast. So that will do it for us. Of course, man. That will do it for us on episode 112 of Stats Over Politics. We will be doing these later shows due to after Monday Night Football. So you will see us after the Eagles beat the Falcons. And, Kevin might be a little drunk. So it's going to be a good day. See you guys.
Turn it up.
Turn it up.